Hello, this is MyMtgMan, and this is another Magic the Gathering video. So today I have my first deck Teck. So, this is a budget deck Teck. It is worth around $30, and I've done quite a bit of playtesting, and it's a pretty solid deck. So, it is essentially kind of an Esper tokens deck. So, I will be going through all the cards, explaining them, and then talking a little bit at the end. So, first we will start with our lands. I am running 24 lands in this deck, although it could run 23. First, 3 Glacial Fortresses. If you have a fourth, I would certainly add it. 1 Drowned Catacomb. Again, if you have one more or a playset, it's worth adding. Evolving Wilds. In some decks, this card is pretty good. It's pretty good in this deck because you don't have a lot of turn 1 plays, so you can turn 1 search for whatever you need. 2 Azorius Guildgates. Of course, you could replace these with Hollowed Fountains and then use a playset of Hollowed Fountains, but since I don't have any, the Guildgates work. Now for our basic lands. So we will start with islands. We have 6 islands. I have some older islands and then the full art one. 6 seems to be a pretty good number. It depends kind of what you're running, but I find that 6 works. Now for planes, we are running 5 planes. I happen to have a full art one. Maybe you could add another planes. It seems like sometimes you run into problems there, but a lot of your cards are, kind of white, so you do need the planes. And then 3 swamp. Hopefully you're going to be searching for these with your Evolving Wilds, or maybe have one in your starting hand. We don't want to play any more than 3 because we don't want to have a starting hand with more than 1. So now on to the creatures. This is a typical Esper tokens build, so there are not many creatures. First we have a very good creature, Augur of Bolas. Many times you won't want to play it turn 2, but it gets a lot of work done. It's a 1/3 body, which is great against some of the more aggressive decks in the format, like zombies. And also, it lets you search, well, basically, top 3 cards for a spell, which, since we're running a lot of spells, is really nice. And typically, we can get something we need. So, play set of Augur of Bolas. I'll move the deck kind of off the screen. The next monster we have, Drogskull Captain. We have 2. This is kind of a new addition to the set, or to the deck. 2/2 flying, other spirits you control get 1/1 and have hexproof. The 1/1 is more important than the hexproof, in my opinion, with Terminus and some other cards, but really good card. So that is all for our creatures. I'll move on to spells next. So we have Unsummon, and this is actually a 4th edition miscut Unsummon that I'm pretty proud about, but we're running 4 Unsummons. You could make the case to run 3, kind of depending on your style, but I'm running 4. Put those down there, I guess. The next spell, which is our only other 1 mana spell, we have Tragic Slip. It is difficult to play them since you do not have that many black sources. You would have more black sources if you were running like Drowned Catacombs or something, but still a very good card if you can't play it early. Hopefully you'll get a swamp, and it really kills a lot. Now we have another card that, like Unsummon, kind of stalls the game. This is Feeling of Dread, and I've found this to be a very, very good card. basically you completely halt their attack or their defense for like 2 turns with the flashback. It's just a really great card, and 3 is a really good number for this deck. Next we just have a teeny bit of drawing for late game. Forbidden Alchemy I've found to be one of the best draw cards in Standard right now. It just allows you to really get whatever you need. Now we have the reason we run this. Playset of Lingering Souls. Lingering Souls is just such an amazing card. Getting the 4/1/1s for 5 is just a really, really great ability. You can use them to chump, and they have flying, so they will win you the game. So 4 Lingering Souls. Next we have Midnight Haunting. Just a worse version of Lingering Souls. Only difference really is that this is an instant, which does come into play. But we are running 3 Midnight Hauntings. Okay, I'm going to move all of the cards back so we have a little more room here. And then we have another card that summons creatures, Talrand's Invocation from M13. It's a solid card. You could make the case not to run 4 of them, and against aggressive decks you certainly don't want to run 4 of them, but they're going to be kind of your game enders. And what is nice is that it produces drakes instead of spirits, so Detention Sphere is a little more difficult to play. Now for the enchantments, and the enchantments are really what makes this deck good. First, we have the best card in the deck, in my opinion. A little better than Lingering Souls, Intangible Virtue. For 2 mana creature tokens you control, get +1/+1 and have Vigilance. It's just an insane card. We're playing the playset. It allows you to win the game almost every time. It just, if they can't remove it, it is going to be a huge, huge problem. And we're playing the playset because we want to have as many of these as we can. And then our last card, which is also an enchantment, Favorable Winds. We are also running 4. Against some decks you will only want to run 3, but I like to start out with 4. It's an Intangible Virtues that is not quite as good, but it does give the +1/+1 to Drog School Captain. Okay, so that is the deck. I will go through the sideboard really quick. The sideboard's pretty simple. An Extra Feeling of Dread. 2 Azorius Arresters. These are for your aggro matchups. They're just really good at slowing other decks down. Then we have about 4 counterspells, 2 Dissipates. Oh, I'll get to the other ones. We have 3, or actually a play set of Delver of Secrets. It is a great card if you're being aggressive. And for some of the aggressive matchups, I like to put it in. We have a Syncopate, a Cancel, an extra island if we are going to put the Delver of Secrets in, and then 3 Think Twice, which is going to allow us to draw, which is going to be nice to get card advantage against some of the decks. So, that is my take on an Esper Tokens deck. It is a budget build. I'd value it around $30. I know I bought most of the cards from wizardscupboard.com. I've just found that it is a really good site. It has cards that are pretty cheap, and I have used that site a bit. So, anyways, thank you for listening. I hope you enjoy the deck tech, and I hope to see you next time.